welcome to another Overthunk album review. I'm Ezra.
I'm Keegan.
And today we're going to be talking about the new Arctic Monkeys album, Tranquility Base, Hotel and Casino.
God, that's a mouthful.
It is.
That's a real mouthful.
That is a very good summation of this album for me.
For real?
Yeah.
What?
It's a mouthful.
A mouthful.
It's
okay.
a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Arctic Monkeys, what's your take on them? Big fan? Kind of
Medium,
okay?
I'd say. Yeah. Loved AM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As most people did.
As most people did.
Great
Yeah,
album.
that was a great album.
Yeah.
And yeah, like this album sort of came out of nowhere. Huh? Was there?
It did. I didn't know that it was coming.
It just dropped one day. Yeah.
I'm assuming there were singles. I didn't see any of
yeah.
them.
No, I think the singles came out like with the album. Like he
Yeah.
performed 4 out of 5 on Fallon or something like that.
Yeah. And then he had, and so the reason I found out about this is when I was scrolling through YouTube, I saw Alex Turner being interviewed by Annie Mac of BBC.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, I haven't seen an Alex Turner interview in a minute. Clicked on it, and they were talking about the new album. I was like, Then I checked, it came out like an hour after that interview, because they were doing it live. They were live streaming that interview on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then it just came out. So yeah, I was blindsided, and I consider myself a massive fan.
Okay, wow.
I was into Arctic Monkeys in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever people say, that's exactly what I'm not. That was a great album for me.
Yeah.
All the classics like Brick by Brick, Marty
Yeah.
Bum, which everyone loved, from the Ritz to the Rubble. It's like the indie rock classics, and that was when I still thought I could, make it in a band. I was trying to model myself after.
Just such intriguing dudes as well. Especially
Yeah,
Alex. Like,
always interesting. And even back then, when they were doing more of a raw, punky sound, he always had that great lyrics that his contemporaries weren't really bringing to their songs. So that was always cool. And then AM, as you mentioned, instant classic.
Yes.
It'll go down as one of the, I think, best kind of Brit rock.
Yeah. Also quite a stylistic change from
much
everything before that.
Yeah, and before then they had been experimenting a bit more with Americana.
Yeah.
With Humbug and the other albums that I didn't really like. I'd kind of fallen off of Arctic Monkeys
before AM.
Yeah. And it really brought me back in. So then when I heard that this was coming out, got very excited for the hour that I had to wait for it. And then, when I listened to it, I must admit, my first listen, I was very disappointed.
Okay.
And it came out around the same time as, Beach House album, Pan Amsterdam dropped an album.
We're still coming off Kali Uchis as well.
Kali Uchis was definitely in rotation, and I found myself not really wanting to go back to it. And I almost had to force myself to go back to it in order to have a good opinion on it and not kind of judge it on... which, in my mind, I was like, maybe I didn't like it because of where I listened to it, my headspace at the time sort of thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, the first time I've kind of enjoyed the listen through was today, like this morning.
Okay.
And as much as that might sound like a positive, like, oh yeah, now I'm enjoying it, I still feel like that's inherently a negative trait.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, do you think it should grab you sooner than it did?
Yes, and I think smash grab, punch you in the mouth, put you over his shoulder and run away with you is very much an Arctic Monkeys trademark.
True.
They're always hitting you, even when they've sort of mellowed out, that sound or whatever the theme of that album is, hits you from the get-go, and you're never confused.
Yeah.
I think confusion is a very good word for what I was for a lot of my listen. How did the album hit for you? Like, when you...
You're going to be surprised by this. I actually like this album.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, I actually do really like this album.
Really?
I have no idea why. I can't even pinpoint why.
Wow.
But I sat listening to it last night and I was just gripped by every single track, and I have no idea why. I think the whole gimmick of the album does sort of weigh thin, like late in the album, as you can expect, because there's no dramatic change in tempo. There's no, that's what you sort of want from an Arctic Monkeys album, is that sort of bombastic, out there tempo.
And I think that's also important for I don't even know if it's a concept album, but there is that space theme that comes through a lot. And if you are sticking to sort of one theme for the thing, you do kind of have to, I think, maybe hit it in different ways, otherwise it, becomes much. But anyway, back to...
But, and like, there's no real hook. If you really think about it, there's no There's no hook in any of these tracks. Can you think of a single hook right now? No. Like, in every single Arctic Monkeys album,
they're just kind of verses that end in these familiar refrains, but there isn't a hook.
There isn't a proper like hook, and that can put people off. But for some reason, as a project, I think it's still it's
interesting.
Did its thing. It's weird. I have no idea why I can't describe it. I think part of it as well is just the charm. I think Alex is effortlessly cool.
That's very true.
For me, at least, every time I've seen him, I'm just like, if I could have 5% of this guy's coolness, I'd be sorted.
Yeah, for life.
And that comes through with his lyrics. You know, I think it does get a bit self-indulgent at times. Yeah. As we can expect. I think he even admits it on one of the later tracks. I can't remember which one it is. You know, too funny for your own good is the line.
But I never know whether he's talking about himself.
Yeah, there's some layers of meta. Yeah. You just don't know. But yeah, overall, I think I was impressed in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I think for me, I mean I'll say this: the production is unbelievable. It's a very very smooth flute. A very smooth flute.
A very smooth.
I like a smooth flute. I like it when the body pains and the temperature.
Yeah, that's what you want.
It's a very smooth album. The soundscapes, as much as some of them are quite, you know, there's some interesting sounds there that aren't your typical smooth kind of jazzy, you know, tones. But the whole album has this aura that just kind of washes over you, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I felt like every song had the same texture. All kind of felt
I get that.
The same, and I don't know, not really the lyrical theme, but the theme being like Tranquility based hotel and casino. I could imagine a lot of these in like a Fargo early 70s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hotel. There's like a honky tonk piano in the corner.
Yes.
Girls in like a fur coat.
That's
smoking
exactly
a long
what
cigarette.
I'm picturing when I'm listening to this.
Exactly, and I guess if that is the goal of the band, then I mean, fair play. They kind of did what they set out to do. Nicholas O'Malley on the bass. Oh my gosh, the bass lines on this album were definitely the highlight for me.
Yeah.
I picked it up kind of on the first listen, but I was very much trying to just get my bearings. And then the next time I listened to it, I was actually wearing headphones because the first time I was just like speakers in my room. Yeah. I popped on some headphones and I really buckled down for it. And there's tasty bass lines.
There's some tasty ones.
Just didn't stop slapping me as Nicholas O'Malley was slapping them. And definitely a highlight for me. I was a bit disappointed that Matt Helders didn't have more of a role, because the drums in Arctic Monkey songs are always a massive standout for me. When they started the band, when the lads from Sheffield came together in school and decided to make a band, he was the only one who didn't play an instrument. Everyone, Alex kind of played guitar, but the other guy was the other guy. He's always the other guy, not
the other guy.
Shane. But he also played guitar. He was lead. Alex was rhythm and doing the lyrics. Nicholas O'Malley on the bass, and then Matt was like, I guess I'll learn how to play the drums. Which is funny because for me, most talented member of the band currently.
Wow. Okay.
Or if we had said if we looked at AM, I would say that the drums were the best part of the album. I mean, I love the album as a whole.
But
drums were completely standouts, and he's very understated on this album, which isn't a bad thing. But I just think he's got such good chops that I would have loved to see him actually, you know, have a couple of segments that really grabbed me and made me want to listen back. And how is he playing that? And, oh, it's so cool.
That's the drummer in you, though.
Possibly. Yeah. But also, I think he was so responsible for driving the tempo of previous albums. And as you mentioned, this is very much a one-tempo kind of album. They don't have a lot of dynamics. And if you're looking for, you know, those kind of dynamics going into the album, I can understand, you know, disappointment. I think that's what's happened to me. But I mean, clearly when you listened to it, you didn't have that kind of preconceived thing, and you just went into it and enjoyed the ride. I think I had my first taste of that this morning, but I can't discount, you know, the first almost month of me listening to the album. I feel like that would be unfair.
Look, if I'm trying to be a bit more self-aware here, like, I do definitely have an affinity towards albums that change it up.
That's very
It's
true.
like the theme throughout
Yeah.
all the things that I like. So that could be at play here. You know, this album may not be quite as good as my idea of it.
But I mean, that is fair, because it's
Exactly.
to be admired.
Exactly.
Especially when you're as popular as they are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I'm sure they've lost a little bit of the audience. With this, you don't think so?
With this, oh definitely.
Yeah.
With this, definitely, for sure. I thought you meant before this.
Oh no, yeah, because that
with-
meant that the massive amount of people who have flocked to them after AM had to have lost a couple now.
Definitely. And I don't think this makes for festivals like.
Which is interesting, because they just played at Carnegie Hall, and apparently it was amazing.
Did they play this though?
Yeah, they played a lot of it.
Okay. And I stand corrected.
Which is super crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just a interesting factoid. For most of their career, every song was just the four of them. Sometimes Dizzy Rascal, or one or two. One of Alex's friends from the Lost Shadow Puppets would come in on 1 or 2 tracks, but 8 or 9 musicians involved on the album. They very much opened their recording studio doors and let people come in. It's the first time that Alex wrote the majority of the album on a piano. Because he had been bored with the guitar.
Yeah, because it's the first time he picked up the piano in
decades
or something
exactly.
like that.
And that's, I guess, all definitely comes through, and it does bring a very fresh sound.
Yeah. In a sense, to me, it felt like an album full of #1 party anthem and mad songs. In a sense, if you had to take those 2 tracks and just stretch them for a whole album.
Sans hooks.
Without hooks, yes.
Without hooks, yeah. And I guess the standout best part of the album for me would be the lyrics. As you mentioned. Alex is as witty as ever.
Yeah.
As sharp and biting when he wants to be, and as loving and kind of sensual, romantic in parts. But what struck me were, he's always had, his kind of quirky songs, but there were a couple of cuts on this LP that were downright absurd. There's a Batman themed song. There's the first ever monster truck front flip, which sounds like it's like a funny name for a song, and then there's the song. It's very much the subject of the song. It's the first ever front flip. Obviously there's a message behind it, but those are literally in those lyrics. And
usually when you see an odd title like that, it's just the title.
It's it's supposed to grab you so that you listen to it and then you like the song. And there's a lot of really strange, dreamy lyrical content on here. But I'm not mad at it. It's one of the reasons that I kept listening, and I think listened in closer was because you wanted to decode what Alex was saying.
Because you just want to hear what it. I mean, even the first line, all I wanted to be was one of the Strokes. That's genius.
It must be said, an iconic opening line for an album. Very strange way to open up an Arctic Monkeys album. But I'm not mad at it. Speaking of the first track, I think my 3 favorite tracks from the album would be Star Treatment. I think it's a great opener. 1 Point Perspective, which is the follow-on straight from that, also really cool. And then, not to be the basic fanboy, but 4 out of 5.
There's nothing wrong with liking the radio singles.
I know. There's the hipster in me, wishing I liked the second last track, the 7-minute ballad, but I really like 4 out of 5. It's well constructed, very cool.
For me, I really like the run from American Sports to 4 out of 5.
Okay, that's a nice
that whole run was great for me.
Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino is an interesting structure to it, which is nice. And that's in that run that you like, so that's cool. Not too long as well.
Yeah, that's also. It's 41 minutes?
Around about. 11 tracks.
I mean, if you had to stretch this sort of gimmick.
It probably would get tired.
You'd get tired. I mean, to me, it already starts to get a bit tired by the 9th, 10th track. But
I guess it feels longer than it is, just by virtue of what it is. Which could be a negative, I guess. But like I said, if you're going into it looking for that, you probably wouldn't like the length.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So in terms of rating?
It's such an interesting It's so difficult to give a rating. I'm trying not to bring my Arctic Monkeys feelings into it, but I did enjoy, I have started to enjoy the album more. Perhaps it will age really well, but I've got to go with my gut and the way that the music was hitting my ears, and yeah, I think I'm probably going to give this 6.5.
Wow, okay. Like I can't even explain why.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it has no right to be as good as it is. Like, and just I found myself interested for most of the album, which is an album with very little variation. That's something pretty crazy.
True.
So yeah, 7.5 out of 10.
What's that?
That's a 7 out of 10 Overthunk official rating.
Yeah. Arctic Monkeys, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
From Overthunk. Let us know what you thought about the album in the comments. Subscribe if you want to get more mediocre reviews from us. That joke has not gotten old yet.
Never.
I'll keep saying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep analyzing and overthinking about the movies and the music that you watch and you listen to. Have a wonderful day or weekend, depending on when you're watching this video. I don't know when it is, but I hope it's good.